So I didn't include you guys in several meetings I had to have this morning, just because it not being appropriate, some of the content being covered. But you'll notice over the next few weeks, you're gonna kind of get an open view of how my day goes, how I started off. It's no secret that I literally am weird about order and what I call God's divine order for things. And that order can often come off as in being annoying. So some of you guys who just randomly dial the number, and you're a little disappointed that I don't just randomly answer it. I don't like to do anything personal until I'm done with my responsibilities in the morning. When I say anything personal, I mean like a random phone call. I'm not going to do it. A random person who would show up at the office or my front door of my home, not going to do it. I'm actually had a lot of responsibilities to handle this morning. I've been gone since July from our home in Palm Bay, Florida, and there's from the hurricane. We just had a hurricane, and it's crazy. But I forgot to have the guys come by and remove that. So I realized I haven't done a lot of stuff in the past few years, and so I figured let's see if I'm in any shape at all. And man, I realize I'm not. I still have 3 windows to go. I've got the storm windows removing, so I did most of them. I'm gonna have somebody come by and get the last 3, just because I don't want to fall behind in my work. The other thing is, with this idea of God's divine order, it's important enough for me that I like keeping the main thing. So starting tomorrow, you'll be a part of meetings without the details. I'll clip some of that kind of stuff out. Preparing for a webinar tonight. So a lot of my morning, I was working on the actual webinar, which is setting up the presentation and how I'm going to synchronize it and set up the things for the future of one of our companies. And the future of it is about live, employing social networks and their ability to actually feed your subscribers, and at the same time keep it contained enough where when someone wants to have something private, they still get to use our webinar platform. That's some of what tonight's about. But also, it's about benefiting from partnering. If anyone knows anything about keeping having a company that will last, one of the things that's required is that you certainly include this idea of what's called demonetization. What can you provide your current subscribers without charging them? What kind of added value can you give them so you can still be around? You can earn money on the other side at another time, but you must continue to demonetize, which means basically adding more and then more and then more without increasing the price. You can do that and stay in business and be very successful. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be demonstrating that to you as I'm setting up some of my webinar stuff in front of you and preparing for this live presentation tonight. So stay tuned. I'm going to actually step away. I probably better get cleaned up for the day. I haven't shaved or done anything like that. I've been working since I got up. My flight flew in 2 nights ago. I got home around 1 or 2 in the morning, and then woke up in the dark. Didn't realize that I didn't take off all the shutters. So I woke up and it felt like it was still night. So I realized I needed some sunshine in my life after visiting the North. And so you can learn more about why you don't want to do that kind of thing later on. In the meantime, it's Dwayne Golden. We'll check you out. Check me out over here in a second. I'm going to come back after I will shave, but I want to share a couple things with you first. I talked about a little bit about order and why that's important to me. So I don't want to I never like to get on a webinar and just randomly talk. So in this YouTube live that I'm going to do tonight, I'm actually going to break down a few principles, because it's very important to make sure that what I'm going to be discussing isn't just randomly coming from my head. I know a lot of people do it. They just get on a camera and just start rambling. I don't like to do that. I think it's important to build the foundation on something much stronger than me and something that's been here before me. And so principles are like that. So there are some principles when it comes to sustainability of sustaining a company that I'm going to share, and just a couple of them, just because there's not many fundamentals to anything. So if you can master the fundamentals of something, you could really become good at it. But if you in fact are very random and disorderly in your thought process and laying that foundation, you will have what are called spurts. You get to become hero for a day, or man, 1 month, 6 years ago, I had a great month. But in order to be consistent, you need to build it on something stronger than you, and more stable than your emotions, and build it upon a strong foundation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you one thing I do. I used to always use the Microsoft Office suite to build things out. But now, in this digital age, one of the things I want to talk about tonight is digitalization. Using a digital environment to build your business foundation, nonprofit foundation, community foundation, whatever you're doing it, you must include a part of the future. And the digitalization is no longer the future, it's now, but enhancing digitalization is a part of the future. So I'm going to talk a little bit about digitalization tonight. I'm going to also talk about disruption, and then also demonetization. One of the things we've been using at one of my companies, Ingresso Cybernetico, we love this idea of disruption, demonetization, and also digital environment. So all of our products with that company are built in a product environment that is all digital. Nothing just stored in the refrigerator or the garage, but really built upon this thing of using a digital environment. So that being said, what you're looking at now is my Google screen. I actually believe in this idea of Google Docs. So literally, if I go to docs.google.com, I get to choose what I want to work with. It's free. One of the things Google did very well is they demonetized it. So instead of trying to monetize their software, as you know, Microsoft has a multi-billion-dollar industry with their software, right? Well, with Google, what they've done is they not only give you a browser, right? That's not Internet Explorer made by Microsoft, but they give you a browser that's free. Just download it and use it. They also give you an entire suite of an Office suite, which if you look at my screen, you're going to find out that I have a ton of documents that I use to order my day for my teams, right? For my technical team, for my support team, for my administrators within my company, for executives. I use docs of all types, not just these kind, but spreadsheets as well. Now, why am I showing you this? Now, they're still loading. While they load, I can tell you they go back for years. I've been using this for a number of years. Now, that's a hot tip for you. Another one, get on board with this demonetization. If people are offering you something for free, you don't need to look over your shoulder. We know anything we have, right? You're buying something, right? But if people are going to offer to you something free, take it. Even though you're going to say, well, they're probably going to sell me something anyway. You're buying something anyway. Take the free stuff, okay? If it's valuable to you. Okay, now, this is it. Now, I'm going to take this slideshow. I'm going to share it. You can share it with anybody that gets a link, or you can specifically invite certain people to do it. I'm going to allow the people I give this to, right, to translate it. So they'll translate the Spanish side for me, and I'll be ready to rock and roll on time tonight during my YouTube Live. So what am I going to do now? Now that I've done this, I'm going to head out and go clean up. I haven't cleaned up today. I've been working all day. I had several meetings I could not invite you in on. So in a little bit, I'm going to come back, the clean phase, and we will walk through some of the other things I do to get set up and ready for my presentation. This is a hot tip, by the way. I like to put a hot tip in any of my video blogs just so you can really get, there's ways to do anything. If you're a man or woman, there's a good chance, regardless of your gender, you're probably using a razor every month. For us guys, to buy a pack that has 2 rows like this in it, it's about $40, right? About $40 US. And what most people don't know, it is not common, or it's not natural for things to just automatically corrode and become dull. Razors become dull not because you use them. Using a razor doesn't make it dull at all. What I'm going to tell you is a hot tip. I'm going to show you how you can use one of these maybe twice a year, for some of you once a year. If you take a look at a razor when you're done using it, most of you, because the TV commercials has created a way for you to consume more, right? And so the way to get you to consume more is to make sure you can dull your razors much faster. So they always show people using them when they're in the shower, and then just leaving it in the shower, right? Leave it right in the shower or on the bathroom sink. Or like you do a toothbrush, you just leave it sitting in there, where all the humidity from the steam, constantly getting wet, and at the same time, oxygen, the combination of this oxygen and the water creates this, what's called an oxidative reduction reaction. You create a reaction that corrodes the metal. The metal corrodes, and that very thin blade becomes thicker and thicker, and it dulls. So the way to reduce it is, as soon as you're done shaving, right? When you're done with all that stuff, you air it out. Then you, with your towel, you blot it dry, you shake it, make sure there's zero water in it, okay? Once there's no water in it, personally, if you want it to last a long, long time, where a pack of 8 razors could last you a year and a half to 2 years, here's what I do. I actually, once I know it's completely dry, I put it in a baggie, because it will require oxygen and humidity or water to dull your blade. If you eliminate the oxygen by sealing it, right, in a sealed baggie, right, or vacuum bag, it doesn't matter, as long as there's no oxygen getting in and there's no water, your blade will be as sharp as it was when you purchased it. Now you'll get a little bit of water when you shave, but when you dry it back off, it literally takes about a year or 2 to dull. They don't tell you that. That's why on every commercial you see someone shaving, they will show you the person using it in the bathroom, in the shower, or at the sink, because they never want to show you putting it away. This will be huge for you guys. Anyway, figure I'd give a hot tip before I go into this thing of demonetization.
Comfortable, good-looking shave you may never have had before.
I want to help you create this concept of understanding laying foundations based on principles. So I talked to you earlier about demonetization, right? And I also mentioned digitalization. And I talked a little bit about it, but tonight, one of the things I'm going to cover on the webinar, which you're probably going to miss, it's a corporate webinar, so you're probably not going to be there. I don't want you to miss this. I mentioned disruption, and I want to talk a little bit about that. You know, throughout life, the human brain will identify patterns and begin to go by those patterns. Often those patterns are disrupted. When those patterns are disrupted, it takes you off autopilot, and you have to think, and you actually have to pay attention. So in video marketing, a lot of times we use pattern disrupt. For example, in this video, you saw me outside, back by the pool. You actually saw me sitting at my desk. Then you actually saw my desk screen. Those are pattern disrupts, right? But when it comes to this idea of building a business where it will be able to pay you long term, you have to disrupt the status quo. Many companies are no longer in existence that didn't do that. And some are barely alive because they kept the same pattern, never disrupted it, so newcomers have disrupted it. Disruption is essential. The market does something in a certain way for a long time. It needs to be disrupted. It will be disrupted. If it's not disrupted by you, you will slowly become a part of the past. Every quarter, I give first, second, third, fourth quarter updates all year long, right? Then I usually introduce 1 or 2 new products a year. I keep going forward, but yet disrupting the way things have always gone. And not because I'm good or because I'm great, none of that stuff. It's literally because I'm basing it on things that operate outside of me. Perfect? Not at all. I have an imperfect model, imperfect business, but because I build them on a strong foundation of principles, right? The good thing about principles, remember this, they work the same for everybody that applies them. So if you want to use gravity, you can. Any human being can use it. Any object can use gravity, it's going to work. Independent of your gender, height, weight, or sex, right? Principles work that way, so don't miss it. So bottom line is, certainly, I've got a little bit more I'm going to cover in the next day or two on 3 additional Ds. So if you've gone to some of my other trainings, you know I like the 3 Ds of building a business, which is completely different than these of sustaining a business. So there are 6 Ds. I've just given you 3 of them: digitalization, demonetization, and disruption. And I have some more surprises for you in the upcoming days. So check it out. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Just wanted to spend my day with you, showing you a little bit of a few snippets of some of the things that I do. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a day or so with a little bit more.